Hi, this is Katie. In today's video, I want to show you guys some pictures from 10 years ago. These pictures are from October and November of 2012, so it's a little over 10 years ago. And that was a very, very, very important time in my life because if you guys know my story of all my travels, all my living in a car, all the road trips I've gone on, that fall of 2012 was my first major road trip that I ever went on. And that particular road trip was what led me to actually decide to add road trips and living in my car into my lifestyle. So literally this first road trip, this month-long road trip that I went with my friend Matt, was the first road trip that I went on that I was like, you know what? I really love this. And I actually think that I want to kind of like add it to my life more. And so I want to show you some pictures from this time, tell you guys some stories. I don't have a ton of pictures, weirdly enough, which I'll get into, but yeah, I just wanted to show you guys some pictures from like probably the most like monumental trip of my entire life. And so if you are interested in seeing these pictures, I really hope that you're subscribed and I hope that you keep watching. Okay, so yeah, if you guys don't know that story, I'm going to tell you really, really quickly because I know I've told it several times. When I was younger, I really didn't like traveling very much. I didn't really like road trips. I did not really like driving, but then I felt led by God to move to Nashville. And so I moved to Nashville, I listened to God, I moved to Nashville, and I was there for 2 years. And basically for that whole 2 years, or at least most of it, I had this other idea to live in my car for a month and drive around the country. And I don't really know why I had that idea. I didn't really know the people who did it. It was definitely not popular on YouTube or anything yet. And so I'm not really sure why I had that idea in my head, but I did. Basically from 2010, 2012, I was like, I kind of want to live in my car, drive around the country. And so at the end of 2012, I actually decided to do it. And I told one of my friends and he literally was like, I want to go with you. And I'm like, okay, yes, please. And so he ended up coming with me. And so we both lived in this car, this exact little car for 1 month. I think it was like 28 days. And we drove from Nashville up through Yellowstone, up to Seattle, down the coast to San Diego, and then back to Nashville. And that was about 4 weeks. And that was, again, just the most monumental trip of my life because after that, I was like, I love this so much. Like the road feels like home to me. And I love it so much that I really want to add it to my life. I really want this to be just a bigger part of my life. And so after that, I started living in my car on and off, going on really long road trips, traveling around the country, moving around the country, getting short-term apartments and short-term housing and stuff. And I've just really like had this sense of adventure and sense of travel. And that was like the initial starting point of it. And so I wanted to show you some pictures. I have a couple on my phone, so I'll be able to like actually properly put them here, but the rest are printed. So I'm going to have to hopefully try to be able to show you without any glare. And a lot of these are duplicates or of like very similar pictures, but there's still a decent amount in here that I want to show you, give you some stories. And I do have a couple on my phone that I will just put right here because they're like digital. Here's the thing. I wish back then I was the kind of person who like printed out and then like wrote a story or wrote the date or wrote where we were because I don't even remember where these pictures were taken. This very clearly was at an ocean. Let's see if you can see that without a glare. Yeah, so that's me running in the water. If you guys know, if you watch any of my videos where I am traveling around specifically near water, you would know that one of my personality traits is if I see water, specifically a beach, an ocean, something like that, I will run into it. I don't even care what the weather is, I will run into it. And so I guess I've been like that for a while. So this, again, all these pictures are October, November 2012. And so this was just me running in some ocean. I'm going to guess it was California. I have another picture very similar of just me running. Here is probably the same beach, but just a picture of the beach. Beautiful. I miss California. I have not been there in like 3.5 years, I think. This picture I love because, okay, this is sand. I know at first glance you might be like, Katie, I cannot tell what that picture is. I'm going to explain it to you. This is sand and those are my boots. I was wearing suede boots at the beach. Can you see this? Can you see that? Those are my feet. Those are suede boots. Oh, I guess I can just do this. You can see us both. Does that work? Okay. Suede boots on the beach. And that very clearly is wet sand. Like you can see the water, but my shoes don't look wet. So I don't know, but I remember these boots. I remember them. So this is my friend Matt who came with me on that trip. There's me and Matt. Look at my bangs. See? Okay. If you've heard me talk about my bangs the last 6 weeks or whatever that I've had them, they've given me a lot of trouble. But I had them in my 20s and look how cute they were. But anyway, so that's me and Matt. We have a couple pictures together from this trip. Look how cute. I was 26 here. So anyway, there's that. Do I look the same? I don't know. I think I looked cool back then. I have a couple pictures later that I'm going to show you that I was like, I looked cool. Okay, this picture is so important to me. I actually have the next one, not this first one, but I have this one up in my car because it's that important to me. So I'll just show you these two kind of together. So on this trip with Matt was the first time that I ever went to Yellowstone. The first time. And now, again, if you've been watching me for years, you know that Yellowstone is one of my favorite places in the world. And this was the first time that we went. And so this was at our campground. We stayed at Mammoth and we were there in, I think it was like late October. And if you know anything about Yellowstone, late October, it gets cold. We were there for 2 nights and we camped and it was below freezing. And we had like backyard sleeping bags, like the 60-degree sleeping bags. We were very cold. We survived, we were fine, but we were very cold. We did not prepare. So like if you ever wonder like how I just so easily tell you, oh, have a 0-degree sleeping bag, it'll keep you warm. Yes, it's because I have been in freezing cold with a 60-degree sleeping bag or a 50-degree or something like that when it literally was like 28 degrees out. I have gone through that, okay? I suffered, so you don't have to. But yeah, so this was the first time we went camping. This was our campground at Mammoth. And then this picture is the one that I have the duplicate hanging up, that this was the view right outside of our tent at Mammoth, the first time I went to Yellowstone. Especially growing up on Long Island where it's very flat. We have New York City, which is incredible. We have the beaches, which are incredible, but I never saw stuff like this growing up. I saw some mountains and stuff in Connecticut, upstate New York, like my dad would take us hiking sometimes, but out west, it's just very different landscape. Very, very, very different. I just remember seeing this and being like, I need this to be part of my life. I just needed it to, you know? I needed it to. So here's a few more pictures of Yellowstone. I love this one. I don't remember what geyser this is. I should have looked it up before, but this is a geyser and a rainbow in the background. Can you see that? Look how gorgeous. This is one of the thermal features. I don't remember which one, and there's no sign, but parts of Yellowstone literally look like this. And you cannot get near them because they're literally thermal features. Do not get near them. But from the boardwalk, you can get pretty close and they just look so cool. Here's another geyser. Here are my little babies, some bison. You guys know bison are my favorite animals. My favorite. There's a picture. This is probably very zoomed. This next picture, though, did not need to be zoomed because we were driving and there was a bison on the side of the road. You guys don't purposefully get close to a bison, okay? Please do not do that. But we were in our car, we were safe, and we were just driving by and he was right there. So we needed to drive past him, but like, such a cutie. Such a cutie. And the ones that I'm skipping over are duplicates. Here's another one, little baby crossing the road. I love them so much. I love bison so much. They're so cute. I love when they cross the road. Like, I think it's really cute when there's traffic in Yellowstone and it's because there's bison crossing the road. I just think it's so cute. All right, so that's it for like Yellowstone. Here's another picture. Again, I don't know where these were from. I just do not know where these were from. But this is very clearly out west somewhere. If you guys recognize any of these, and I'm like, I don't know where it is. If you recognize any for any reason, please let me know. Okay, and then we got to the Grand Canyon. So I have a couple pictures of that. This one's very blurry. But this was my first time at the Grand Canyon as well. I've been there twice. The second time is when I got cornbread. But that was the first time I went with Matt. Here's another picture of the Grand Canyon. That place is wild. And this picture I always thought was so funny because I don't know what I'm looking at. Like, I don't know why I'm facing such a different way. It almost looks photoshopped, but like it's not. So there's me and Matt at the Grand Canyon. Here's classic selfie at the Grand Canyon. Look at that. These are not in order, obviously. Very obviously not in order. I don't know where this is, but that's very pretty. Some cliff. As you can tell, I really like taking pictures of water and cliffs and stuff. Here's one more selfie of me and Matt. Love this. Love this. Seriously, do I look the same? I wore contacts a lot on that trip, by the way. I think I look similar, I think. Let me know, I'm curious. All right, here's classic Hollywood sign. Needed to get that when we were in LA. Okay, and then I have the Golden Gate Bridge when we were in San Francisco. Here's another one. You guys, do you like San Francisco? I don't love that town. I just really don't love it. But you guys know how much I love bridges, so at least I had that. Here's a picture of me. No idea. Your guess is as good as mine. Absolutely no idea. But I like my outfit. I like the pink and green together. It's a good choice. Also, I love that I'm wearing the shortest shorts in the world with a sweatshirt. Like, what was the weather here? Then the last pictures that I have, before I show you the couple that I have on my phone, were at the Redwoods. I don't have a ton of pictures that like can really show you how big these trees are, but like there's Matt with these giant redwoods. They were so cool. And then I only have one picture of me at the Redwoods, but look how big those trees are. That was such a cool place in California as well. And I just want to show you a couple more pictures that I have that were on Facebook. So they're all just like selfies. So I'm just going to like put them here, but I'm going to look at them on my phone so I can explain them to you. Okay, so this one. Oh, here's one that shows my tattoos. Okay, so my first tattoo is on the back of my arm. So that one I don't have a picture of, but my second and third tattoos you can see in this picture. First of all, I think that I look so cool here. I think I'm like, ooh, like edgy Katie. Like, I just think I look so cool here with like the dark hair with the bangs and how curly it was. Again, my bangs just looked so different back then. Regardless, this is not a story about my bangs. But anyway, so if you can see on my forearm, the tattoo that says here, you can see that one. And then you can see the side of my knee, those birds. That was very painful. The first tattoo that I got was a compass on the back of my arm. And so basically Matt and I were in Seattle. And one of the things that we did while we were in Seattle was we decided to get tattoos. He already had tattoos before, but I did not have any. And so we decided to get tattoos. And so we just went to some tattoo shop there and we both wanted to get compasses. And so I got mine. This is not how to show tattoos, but mine's here. I just got this compass and Matt got a different compass, not matching tattoos, but like kind of matching tattoos. And we had two different artists. So we were getting the tattoos done at the same time. And while we were getting our compasses done, we were just chatting and we were both like, do you want to get the word here tattooed on you too? And we were both like, yeah. Like we both were just kind of talking to each other and we were like, yeah, we kind of want to get the word here tattooed on us. So while we were getting our compasses done, we asked the artists and they're like, yeah, that's fine. So then we ended up both getting here. I know, again, super weird to try to show you. So I only had one tattoo for like 2 minutes because then he just started doing this one. So basically I went in with 0 tattoos and left with 2 tattoos, one of which was actually matching with Matt. And the compasses, they're not the same compass, but they were similar. And then a couple weeks later, we were in San Diego and we wanted to get more tattoos. And so Matt wanted to get a bison. And here's the thing. I did not have my obsession with bison yet. So Matt got a bison, but then I decided to get my knee tattoo, which are like those V-birds that I have. It was very, very painful, but that's my favorite tattoo. I love those V-birds, but that was done in San Diego on the boardwalk. Oh, no, not San Diego. I lied. That was done in Venice Beach at the boardwalk in LA. So that picture, I don't know where I exactly took this picture, but it was sometime after that because I already had the bird tattoo. That one hurt so bad. But I loved it. So yeah, I like just got a bunch of tattoos. This is just a big turning point in my life. You know what I mean? The next picture, I also think that I look cool here too. I was in some bathroom at probably some bar or something that we went to. And again, I wore my contacts a lot on that trip and my bangs looked really nice. And that leather jacket that I had back then, I wish I still had that. Oh my goodness. It was a real leather jacket that I got at some Goodwill for like really cheap, but it was like from like the 80s or 90s and had like shoulder pads. And it was just like, I loved that jacket. I don't know why I ever got rid of it. But anyway, I still think I look cool here too. All right, this next picture is actually a still from a video that we had. And I love, I'm just looking at it over here. I love how my hair looks. I think it looks so cool. I think that this picture is so cool. I love it. It was very clearly windy and just like, oh, I love that picture. I love a picture so much. This is one of my favorite pictures from that trip. And then this last picture is my favorite of me from this trip. So this was the last day of our trip. We were in Branson, Missouri, because Matt had a bunch of friends there. And so we went to go see them like our last night before we drove back to Nashville. And one of his friends, or like a friend of a friend, whoever was at his house, because there ended up being just a bunch of us that night, whoever was at that house, one of them had a camera and just took this picture of me. And I love this picture. And obviously he like put this filter or whatever on it, but I just love this picture of me. It just kind of like encompasses that whole trip of like, I feel like I grew so much on that trip. And I feel like that picture just kind of, at least for me, like when I see it, like I can tell from that picture. But yeah, I just wanted to show you some pictures from that initial trip that I went on with my friend Matt. That literally is the #1 reason of why I even have the lifestyle that I've had the last 10 years is because of Matt and because of that trip. So anyway, just wanted to show you those pictures from that trip. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Please let me know in the comments any questions that you might have about that trip or just anything that you want to chat chat about, whether it has to do with travel, road trips, living in a car, sleeping in a car, anything like that. Again, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really hope that you're subscribed for future travel videos. But yeah, I guess that's gonna be it. Thank you again for watching, and I hope that you have a wonderful day. I love you, Jesus loves you, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.